Hey YouTube fans, this will be a pretty quick video with regards to what I'm going to show you before I hop into the second part of the video itself. Getting ready to do a little bit of weeding. I had a lot of good luck earlier this year when I was more consistent with putting out a pre-emergent. Check some of my videos from prior, earlier in the year. What a pre-emergent does is you put it down before the weeds germinate, and they keep weeds from germinating. They don't impact all weeds. You can see some nut sedge there, that grass looking like weed. The kind that I have, Snapshot, doesn't do anything for that. But all these other types of weeds were prevented from that. Of course, I let that slip up. So what I'm going to do now is weed around the rose itself, spray some Roundup on the ones that are far away from the roses. You don't want to get any Roundup on your roses. And the reason why I'm kind of hustling is we are in the midst of an unsettled pattern. It's raining a little bit right now, and it's going to rain a lot the rest of the week. The pre-emergent that I have and most people have require watering in. So I'm going to get rid of the weeds near the plants, Roundup in between, and then spray that pre-emergent down. The reason why I'm doing that first is you don't want to put the pre-emergent down when you have weeds, because it doesn't do anything against weeds that have already formed. In addition, you really don't want to disturb the soil at all. So you don't want to put it down and then start weeding a couple weeks later. You just want to let the rose bed stay as is. Before I show you the pre-emergent, I got to show you some of these blooms. I keep doing these garden tours, and each time it reminds me of the spring. Each time I do a video, a couple days later, I see even better looking roses. Again, I've showed you this before. This is Gemini. This is why it's one of the top exhibition roses. You know, we got 15, 20 blooms on the plant. Again, these haven't been covered. They haven't been babied at all. And just look at all the form. And if you've seen our earlier videos, what I mean by that, that spiral center that holds. And you can see those outer petals just open up very nicely. Very nice bush, growing wise, and also in terms of form. I won't go all the way back there, but speaking of form, let me see if I can zoom into that. That's Veteran's Honor. That is another top exhibition rose. You can see why with that form itself. A couple other beauties here. On the right is Let Freedom Ring. I've had a lot of good blooms off of this. It's an oranger color to it. This is the sport of Let Freedom Ring, Zach Nobles, discovered by Satish down in the Carolina district. A couple other nice ones. Dublin has kind of seen its day. I've shown you those. But one that's really coming into its own this fall. And again, I haven't grown it very long. So I mentioned on a prior video, some blooms do better in spring, some do better in fall, and then some do better spring and fall. I can't remember how this did in the springtime, but this is Claire Elise from the hybridizer of Brandy Scott. Sunny Sundays, he's done a lot of hybridization. He's an amateur in terms of a backyard hybridizer, not a big company. And that's a beautiful bloom right there. Very nice growth habit on it. And yeah, it's a nice one. Big blooms too. This one doesn't have quite the form that the prior one did, but looking quite nice. Another one that has a lot of good form that I've shown you before, Louise Estes. Very nice. It does well down here in the south, so that's the one reason why I got it. Trying to get roses that do well in the climate that we grow in. Last one, something new. It has, I'm trying to think if it's St. Patrick or Marilyn Monroe in it. I know it has some heritage that may make it winter tender. This is a new one, Ring of Fire. Almost forgot the name of that. Very nice, very nice rose. And it stands out in the garden as an orange, and that color looks amazing as that sun is starting to peek out. It has form on most of the roses. Again, just started growing it myself. Chris Greenwood is a hybridizer, and it's a newer hybrid tea, but I know some of the top exhibitors have had that rose in their garden for a couple years now and reported that it's done really well. So the sun's poking out just a little bit. I came out here to do some weeding. It rained. I came back in, came back out. It stopped, and then it rained again. So I think I'm going to mail it in for today. But the second part of the video, I'll show putting down the pre-emergent after I get some of these weeds cleaned up. This is Crescendo. Hybridized, or the parentage does have Gemini in it. You can kind of see that coloring. It opens a little quicker, and it tends to get a spiral, nice form in the middle, and then these outer petals open a little more. So there's a little more room. It's kind of more of a circular shape. It is a nice exhibition rose as well, but again, a little bit different than Gemini, and those outer petals open, but the inside stays circular and tight. So it's kind of an interesting rose that it's kind of in between, where just the center stays tight and the rest unfurl. So kind of a neat opening pattern to it versus one of its parents, which is Gemini. So that's it. I don't have my mic on today, so hopefully you heard all this okay. Just wanted to show you the garden. We'll do a little more weeding. Again, the point of this video was to talk about how getting the roses, the weeds up, this is Veteran's Honor, getting the weeds up prior to putting down a pre-emergent is very, very important. It does nothing to prevent or kill any weeds that are there now, and you don't want to disturb, there's more crescendos, you don't want to disturb the soil after you put it down, and it needs to be watered in. So with a rainy forecast here the next couple days, I want to get that pre-emergent down, and before I do, I want to get any work in the garden done that needs to be taken care of, and in this case it's weeding. So I'll get that done, maybe even try to spray tomorrow morning if it's not raining, so that I'm not traipsing through the garden over the next couple weeks. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's enjoying some mild weather. I know on the West Coast you folks are dealing with snow and cold. Here on the East Coast it's been unseasonably mild, even for Eastern North Carolina. We've been around 80 the last couple days. I'll last leave you with this bloom of Mr. Caleb, hybridized here in the Carolinas. Very nice red rose. Unlike Veteran's Honor, it does get a little damage, you can see on the side, from dew or raindrops. So it doesn't quite hold up to the rain like Veteran's Honor, but besides that, it's got great foliage and really, really nice red blooms. Take care, everyone.